So it's a new year, a new season, and that brings with it a slew of new anime to watch. With a bunch of new shows airing, I feel like it's my duty to tell you what is worth watching and what isn't. So let's start things off with today's show. Welcome to A Glance At, the section of the channel where I take a look at current anime that have begun to air recently. And today we're taking a look at the show from Brainspace that adapts Kiyoshiro Dairo's light novel of the same name in Spectre. Keep in mind this is just a review of the first episode. And I must say, while my first impressions of the first 9 minutes weren't all that great, as the episode progressed I was pleasantly surprised by the direction it took in the end. It should be obvious by what I just said, but you should go and watch this show. It's available over on Crunchyroll, not sponsored, and I will leave a link in the description. You should go into this show blind. The episode opens with our main character Kotoko Iwanaga lying in what appears to be a forest, being asked to become some disembodied voice goddess of wisdom. We then transition to Kotoko napping on a bench outside a hospital, being woken up by something tugging her from the bench. This is our first introduction to the supernatural elements that the show ends up having. She walks up to Kuro Sakuragawa, a college student who visits his cousin at the hospital. She starts to talk to Kuro and starts to learn about Kuro and his girlfriend breaking up and confesses her love for him, but then revealing that Kuro, like his name suggests, because Kuro is black in Japanese, has a darker secret about him. We learn that the yokai and the likes are in the show's universe and are the ones that ask Kotoko to become their goddess of wisdom. They are also terrified of Kuro for a yet unexplained reason. What I really like about this show is the fact that it quickly builds up its world within the first episode so that we can possibly have more of the focus placed on the characters, which I feel like will be the direction the story will take. The relationship between Kotoko and Kuro, for example, it was well introduced. It's clear after a certain point that there's more to this relationship than meets the eye. This is a case of show don't tell, as the narrative doesn't stop to tell us this, it shows us with little cues. For example, appearing to believe that he's fooled Kotoko by covering up the truth, but she sees through it. We assume at first that's because she is simply a girl in love, but that's not the case as we quickly learn. Kotoko is brash, blunt and forward when it comes to her feelings for Kuro, and Kuro is impassive and unnerving in his presence. For the yokai only though, as for Kotoko, she doesn't appear fazed by the appearance of Kuro. Why Kuro is feared by the yokai, I actually do not know, but what I do know is this: whatever it is, it will surely make the dynamic of the two more interesting, seeing as Kotoko is a god of sort for these yokai. Speaking of, I love the atmosphere this show has. The seemingly terrifying samurai ghost turns out to be a lover of romantic novels, and a little black yokai that stirs Kotoko's hot chocolate in the hospital before she realizes the trade-off she got for becoming the god that she is for the yokai. It again shows that little bit of world building mentioned earlier. It also has that little bit of comedy in it. For example, Kuro poking fun at confidentiality laws in a hospital setting, or Kotoko pointing out that kappas can be used for advertising, and they have been in Japan. The animation is nothing to scoff at either. The little supernatural fight scene at the end of the episode looks splendid and quickly became very memorable. It just works so well. Mamoru Miyano does well as Kuro, making it believable that he has a dark secret, but what should I expect from the man who played Light Yagami? And Akari Kito does a good job as our main protagonist, making her seem blunt and brash with the little changes in her voice. As I said at the beginning of the video, you should go and watch this show if you haven't read. It's a great blend of entertaining dialogue, intriguing characters, mystery that goes deeper, and some really memorable action. The show is, at the very least, has one of the best opening episodes of the season. But the season has only just begun, and we'll see if that opinion continues as more and more shows come out. Catch you next week whenever I look at whatever it is that I look at.